In this video, we're going to take a look at the Jefferson Baptist Association website. So I'm going to show you just kind of how to make some updates, do some things on the site, get you started. So we'll first go to the URL and then we'll add /wp-admin. This is going to take us to the page where we can log in, and you'll put in your username and password that you've been given and then click login. Looks like the current admin email is correct, so we'll just click correct and then we're logged in. It might not pop up for you, it might just log you right in. It might just ask me that since I'm doing it here. But once you get logged in, you'll see this page. And so the most important things that we want to look at are going to be in this black dashboard over here. So I'm just going to kind of work my way down through these items and explain to you kind of how most of these things work. So we won't look at every single thing, but we'll look at the things that are really pertinent to your site. So we'll start with updates. This is where your plugins are located. Occasionally plugins and your WordPress theme need to be updated. We actually do that regularly on a regular basis for you. So if something goes wrong and you need to come in here and manually do it, you can. We take care of that for you. These are updated on a regular basis for all of our clients. Posts are done for our clients who like to do blog posts, and it's a simple plugin we have on our site. You're not currently utilizing this function, so we'll skip past it. Under Accordion Pro, you are, I believe, using just one accordion on this What We Believe page. So I'm going to go ahead and open another tab so I can look at the website from the client perspective. And let's see if we can see What We Believe. And let's look at this page, and you can see here, here's that. This is called an accordion because it sort of opens and closes for each little section. So I don't anticipate that you're going to change this What We Believe section probably ever, if at all. But I just wanted to show you where it was. So you click in here and you can see each of these little black items is each one of those little accordions. So if you ever do need to come in here and edit the content, you just click and it will collapse here so you can see what the content is. The title goes here and then the copy goes here. So you can copy and paste whatever is supposed to go in that little section. But that's really all that's being used for. If you ever want to create a new accordion, you can basically replicate what you see here and create a new accordion and then get the short code for the accordion and place it on the page where you want to use it, which is right here. So if you ever want to use that for something else, more than welcome to. But that's how it's used right now, and I just wanted to show you where you could kind of update that content. Next up is the media library. So this is where all PDFs, all images on the site are located. So you can add new media by clicking add new, and you can either drag and drop items here or select files through here. You can also crop or rotate images by clicking edit if you need to do that, and it'll let you take care of images that way. But this is basically just where all those images are housed. And if you ever need to add an image to a page or to some other spot on the website, then the option will be there. So you don't have to come back to the media library, but I just wanted to show you this is kind of where they're all at, and you can see them here. Next up is forms. So right now you guys are just using the one contact form. It's pretty simple, pretty intuitive. I think once you look at it, you'll see. So I just kind of want to go over it briefly. If you ever need to create new forms for new events, you can kind of replicate what you see here and just utilize kind of the same ideas. So basically what we have are these fields are pulled from over here. And so if I need to add an additional field, I can grab it and drag it where I want it to go. Or if I just simply click it, it will add it to the very bottom. And then what you'll do is update the field label to say whatever you want it to, and then add your first choice, second choice, third choice. You can add more choices. You can get rid of these. You can duplicate a field here, and then it creates it again. And then I can delete fields here by just clicking that little X. If I want to create just, one new line of text, I can do single line text and click this field label here and update it. I can make it a required field or not. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because we're not going to use it. Once you make changes that you're happy with and that you want to update, click update and all your changes will be saved. If you want to see what you've done and how it looks, you can click preview, and obviously it doesn't look exactly the same way it looks on the site, but it kind of shows you, so you kind of just have a little bit to go off of how it's sort of laid out. And so if you ever wanted to create a new form, you would just click new form here, and then it'll have you put in a title and a description, and then you'll just add those same fields. You'll just or add whatever fields you want and just drag them over, change what they're labeled as, and then click update, and then you can create a new form. And then once you have that form, once you create a new page, there will be an option to add a form, and it'll put the shortcode in there for you. So I'll show you how to do that in just a minute when we get down to pages. Another thing that's helpful here to know is if you want to manually check the entries, you can go to entries here and you can see all the form entries. So looks like we've got one here. I can check them. I can get this in case I'm, have I missed one or anything like that. If you have any questions, you can come here to entries. Another important thing to look at is under settings, you can go to notifications, and if you ever need to change out the email that's getting notified, you can change it out here. I could also add a second email by just adding a comma and adding the email. And then once you make the change, make sure you click update notifications and you're good to go. So that's mostly it for forms. If you ever need to create a new one and you get stuck and you start working on it, please let us know. We can help you. But that's kind of the main pieces there. So let's move on to pages. This is where all your internal pages as well as your home page is located. So let's start by looking at the home page, and we can just look through each section of the home page and show you how to update the items there. So when you're looking and you see copy, you can always edit the copy here. If you see something with like a short code in it like this, then you know this is the copy or the content is actually located somewhere else. So for instance, on this page, you can see this about section. So this is obviously this section right here. So if you need to edit any copy, basically this all works like any sort of word processor tool like Microsoft Word or Pages or whatever you might use. So basically you can bold, italicize, bullet, number, you can align it differently. You can hyperlink copy. So I can hyperlink it, and then I would just paste in the link, hit enter or hit the arrow, and then you've got a hyperlink. I can remove it by doing that, and I can change the size of my text here. And so if you ever need to update the copy there, that's how that works. And so if you see any sort of natural break in how the pages are laid out, so here's a section, here's a section, here's a section. If you see some sort of like natural break, those are going to each be these little page sections. So if I collapse this, I can see here's my next page section, our strategy, and that's this next part right here. So if you need to edit any of the copy, that's where that's housed. Looking for a church, browse directory, that's all located here. And then, as I mentioned, the home buttons section right here is obviously located somewhere else. It's actually going to be located over here where it says home buttons. So you can see it says home buttons here. That's actually going to be edited right here. So we'll talk about that in just a moment. The other thing that's helpful to know is that these items here are located in the footer, so they're on every page, and those will also be edited elsewhere. So this portion right here, this main section is located. I can edit the image here, so I can remove featured image, or if I click on it, I can upload a new image here, or grab a different one from the media library, select it, and click set featured image. Then I would click update to update the page. And the wording is located right down here. So if you ever need to change this wording out, it's going to be located here. If you end up changing this and something happens with the styling, with the colors, just send me an email, let me know. We'd be happy to fix it. But I just wanted to show you where to edit it in case you wanted to know. So let's look at one of your other internal pages, just so you can kind of get a feel for how a different page might look. So for instance, let's look at church strengthening and see if there's something we can look at here to just make sure, or maybe a different page. Church sending, I know there's a couple longer pages like this one, yeah. So let's look at church sending and show you kind of how to update. And as you can see, we've got those, like I mentioned before, those breaks. So you can see this is like a white section, a little gray section, another white section. So each of those are going to turn into a page section. So church sending. So if I go here, I've got my page section. So the first page section is just that copy that you can see at the top here. So then international trips, I go down. Here's my next section. Then again, you've got that short code and you can see that it's a table. And so this table here is actually updated in TablePress right here. So if you ever see that short code, you know it's located somewhere else and we'll have to edit it somewhere else. Then you've got a couple hyperlinks here that'll take people to a linked page. You've got an image inserted here, which you can be done through this add media option here. And like I said, adding a form can be done through this button. You just select your form and then insert the form. And yeah, so you can just see where all this content is located. But as I said, there's like a gray, you can see there's like a gray background on some pages or some sections, sorry. So that's done through these little tabs here. So if I look at background, you can see there's no image in the background. I'll scroll down. Here's my background color. So I can actually copy and paste this color code and use it in additional places if I need to. But I can change it. So I can drag sort of this around and change it and edit it. And I can also, if I want to, add another page section and then change the background color to whatever I want. I can get a color code and, like I said, paste it here. Oh, that's not the right thing. Sorry. I guess I didn't copy and paste it, but you could paste the color code here. And if you want to delete that section, so this section doesn't actually have anything in it, I would just come up here and remove that row. Or I can add one, same way. And you can drag and rearrange these as needed. As you make changes, make sure you come up here and click update. So that's basically how those internal pages are adjusted. I think all the pages kind of have that same general feel. So yeah, that's just how you'll update those little sections. I think if you edit any sort of, here we go. So this is the menu item. And so this is what makes it link to the specific page or specific part on the page. So if you do ever edit this item right here, then it will change and the menu isn't going to work as well. So that's just so you know. And we'll talk about menus here in just a minute as well. But that's where you can edit it. So if you do want to edit this menu link, you can change this out to be whatever you want. You'll just have to go to menus and edit it. So that's basically how you update pages. And let's move on. So comments are disabled. We don't really have comments used anywhere on your site. So let's move to churches. This is where your directory is housed. I'm going to leave and not save the changes because I don't want those changes I made to be saved because they were not good. So this is pretty intuitive, similar to some other things on this site. You can see, let's click on the church name. And then when you go to edit it, you can edit the church name here. And there's this big blank thing, which really is, we don't need. You want to scroll down to this information down here. So you'll want to get you can get the URL. You can find the Google Map link from just going to Google Maps and typing it in, and then you'll paste that link here, and then the content or whatever other content church address goes here. And you'll click update if you make any changes. So let's go back to look at a different one. So again, we've got the name of the church, this blank section we don't really need. And then if you scroll down, I've got that Google Map link. I've got the phone number or the website or whatever I want to put in these blanks, and then the address down here. And then the Google Map is just going to auto populate here. So you don't really have to do anything once you get that link in there. If you want to delete one, you can delete it. It'll show up here, and you can restore it or get rid of it forever. So if you delete something on accident, you can usually get it back. Always just let us know if you have something you need help with there. You can make it a draft. So if I click quick edit, I can actually make it a draft, and then it won't show up. So if I need to make it a draft while I'm editing it, you don't have to do that, but if you wanted to just make it not visible, and then I can search through these different pages to see all these other churches, and then click through search to search for whatever maybe I need to look for. And if you need to add a new one, you just come down here to add new, or click add new here, and you can add one and just fill in those fields the same way that they're filled in on all these others. So pretty straightforward. That is how to handle the church's church directory. Don't believe you guys are using food gallery, so we'll move to home buttons. So these are, if you'll remember when we were looking at the home page, it's those 3 buttons here. Pretty simple. Not a whole lot to adjust on these, but if you do ever want to edit them, you can go here. You can change out the name of the button. Scroll all the way down. I can change out the button title, and I can change out the link, and I can change out the image if I want. So same way you edited the pages, all that can be done here and clicking update. There isn't a super easy way for you to be able to change the color on those, but since they match right now, I don't foresee you needing to do that. But if you do ever want to change those colors, you just let us know, and we will be happy to help with some of the styling. But probably not a lot you're going to change there, but wanted to show you where that was. Also on that one internal page, we had the table. So I did want to show you how to edit the table in Table Press. Again, pretty intuitive. So you've got your one table here. It's called International Missions. So I'll click on it. This is actually that shortcode that was within the page. So this is, if you paste this shortcode anywhere, it will show, this table will show up. You've got your columns and your rows, and you basically can just click and edit however you need to. And if you need to, you can select a row or select a column. And you can say selected rows, I want to duplicate, I want to insert, I want to delete. Selected columns, duplicate, insert, delete. I can add 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 rows. I can add columns, and then you can adjust those. You can also drag these into a different order if you need to. And make sure you click Save Changes. So pretty intuitive, but that's how you edit that. WP Bruiser is just something we have on the site for you guys. It helps with spam blockers on the forums. Genesis is your theme. Nothing to look at here. Under Appearance, we do have a couple things we want to look at. One is widgets and one is menus. So we'll start with widgets. This is actually where your header and footer content is located. So probably not a whole lot to adjust here, but it's where the logo is located. It links to the home page. It's where the buttons are located. They're hyperlinked. And the navigation menu. So you don't actually edit the menu here, but it is added right here. And then if I go over to footer, I've got the get in touch form, the contact us form. The title can be edited here if you'd like. You just have to click save down at the bottom. And then the next footer is the office hours, address, and mailing address. So this can all be edited here. Same way you edit things on pages. It's done the same way. Click save. And then the Google Map plugin here Again, nothing to edit there, but just wanted to show you where that stuff is. So we'll move to menus, and this is how you edit the menu in the homepage that we kind of talked about earlier. So if we have pages created, they're going to show up over here. I will click the little check and click add to menu, and it's going to show up at the very bottom. Then I can drag it wherever I want. I can make it a sub menu item by dragging it over here. I can update the label and change the name of it, or I can remove it. If I make changes I want to keep, I want to click save menu, so I can drag and rearrange any of these. If I want to create a custom link, I can go to custom link, put in whatever URL I want, whatever label that I want it to have, and click add to menu. And like I said, if you do end up changing out those links within the page, you have to come change it here. So the link was in that little page section, and then it has that hashtag symbol there. So if you want to come in here and edit any of those things, this is where that's done. If you have questions, let us know, but that's just so you can see kind of where it's at. Again, click save if you make changes you want to keep. Plugins. You're more than welcome to add plugins. If you have questions about plugins, just let us know. We're happy to give some advice on that. Users, this is where you'll edit your username and password if you want to. So you can come in here, find your username. I'll scroll all the way down and click generate password. It's going to generate me a new password, but I can just delete whatever it generates and put in my own password, whatever I want it to be, and click update user. I can also add a new user. I would just need a username and an email. I usually use the same email so that use email and username, make them the same. That's what I do because I think it makes a lot of sense. But you don't have to do that. You can do whatever you would like. So you can generate a password here. And then if you want to make someone an admin, you'll just go down here to administrator, and that person will have the same access you do. They'll have admin access to the site. You just want to make sure that if you do change the password, you keep it really strong. Make sure that whoever you give admin access to, you really trust, just to keep your site safe. And we just want to make sure we're looking out for you there. You'll click add new user and then make sure you give the person the credentials that they might need. So a lot of this stuff here is just stuff that's on the site that we really don't need to talk about, that you won't really be editing at all. So for the My Calendar piece here, looks like, let me see. Event calendar. Here we go. So it looks like we're kind of just keeping update with the list on this upcoming events page. So it doesn't really look like we're using this calendar right now. If you want to implement a Google Calendar, we can implement and add a Google Calendar to where it auto-populates the events on the page for you very easily. So if you want to end up doing that, please let us know. Looks like you're not using this plugin though, so we'll just move to not using Slider Revolution for anything. WordFence is just what is the word I'm looking for? Like a firewall. It helps to protect your site. So the only other thing to look at is Google Maps. If you do ever need to update this map down here, it can be done through Google Maps, and you can either add a location or manage locations. So if I click manage locations, here's your office, and I can click edit, and I can update the address here, and then the longitude and latitude will auto update. And then if you need to get that Google Maps link and paste it right there, so if it's a new location, you'll just need to update it and paste it there, and then click save location, and it should just update it for you pretty simply. So that's everything. That's really everything. That's how you update things on your site. If you end up running into issues or you have questions, please let us know, and we'd be more than happy to help you. But I think this should get you a really good running start on most things that you would need help with.